It's 90s actor versus 90s actor, and brother versus brother, with the star of Blank Check's Ryan Bonsall facing off against his bro, Timmy Timmons from The Sandlot, Mr. Victor DeMattia, in 20 questions about video games and punk rock music. This is Trivia with Buds. What it be? And welcome to another episode of the Trivia with Buds podcast. What is this show? You might be asking yourself. It's pop culture at its finest. Sometimes it's me asking you questions. Sometimes it's me facing off against someone one-on-one in person or over Skype in a trivia battle. Sometimes it's me on location at somewhere like LA Comic-Con or Designer Con in Pasadena. Two big events that are coming up and I will be at again this year. And sometimes it's a good old-fashioned brawl between two friends of mine. Today, we've got that last one with two huge stars of the 90s, Ryan Bonsall, who is currently the guitar player for the touring band The Ataris and also appeared on shows like Family Ties and in movies like Blank Check. Brian goes against his brother in real life, Victor DeMattia, who was Timmy Timmons in The Sandlot. You may remember that character. He has the younger brother who repeats everything he says. So we got a great chat with those guys, seeing what they're up to nowadays, and talking about their careers and what they love, including punk rock music and video games, the two topics for today's episode. It's so weird meeting celebrities that you grew up watching. And then, once everybody gets to a certain age, I feel like, especially with child actors, it's just like everybody's just a regular person. It's like some people want to keep doing the acting thing, some people don't. And it's just fascinating to think that like my mom rented the movie Blank Check on VHS from a defunct grocery store called Farmore for my 7th grade birthday. And the star of that movie I had on my show. So you're going to love the chat we had with them later today. It's very, very fun. 5 years in LA. This week, we just hit 5 years. The wife and I, we packed everything up that we had in our little Hyundai Sonata and what was that? Chevy Cavalier. And we drove out here with my good friend Steve Scapperdine. If you're looking for a wedding photographer, he's one of the best in Chicago. He just did one of the guys from the Sonic commercials, one of those improv actors who are on all those commercials. He just did his wedding, bunch of celebrities there, and one of my best buddies growing up, Steve Scapp. But me and the wife, we moved out here 5 years ago this week, and our first place was $1,595, and it was like 450 square feet. It was crazy rent and super small, but we made a ton of good friends in that apartment complex. It was called the Starlet. It was in Burbank, California, directly across the street from where people would line up for Ellen if you went to a taping of that. So we got to see a lot of cool stuff living in like the heart of an area where they make a lot of film and television. So that was really neat. In our first year out here, had some really cool, fun stuff over the weekend. We are getting ready for the baby. November 20th is supposedly when this baby is rolling around. And we have a huge thank you to everyone who came to our diaper and beer party this past weekend. People brought us big packs of diapers. They brought us beers. And we had a great time with friends and family out in Laverne, California. At the end of the party, my family and our friend Tandra, we played this game called That's You on PlayStation Plus. So I wanted to plug that really quick. If you have PlayStation Plus, it's free. Otherwise, I think it's $20. And it's kind of like a Cards Against Humanity, fill in the blank kind of game, but it's a little bit more lighthearted. You take a picture, a lot of selfies. It'll be like, hey, try and mimic this face, and it gives you a face, and then you vote on the best ones and that kind of stuff. So if you like voting games and personalized kind of party games, check out That's You on PlayStation Plus. I think it just came out this past weekend. I got a bunch of brand new trivia nights popping up all around Los Angeles, especially in the beach towns. If you live in El Segundo or Venice Beach, Venice area, definitely check out triviawithbuds.com and click on the different locations to see where you can play. Tuesday nights, I will be at a place called Surfside in Venice Beach. That's 9 p.m. And we'll be doing bingo there on Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. So that's starting this Tuesday and Wednesday. And we also have El Segundo. If you love breweries, you will love this place. It's called Brewport, the Brewport Tap Room. And they have like a bracelet when you walk in. You give them your ID, they give you a bracelet, and then you go up to all these different taps and you pour as much as you want. So it's kind of like one of those, by the way, candy stores where you can, try a few things, maybe get an ounce here, an ounce there, and then go, all right, I'm going to get a whole pint of this or whatever. So you can stay there for hours and hours and drink a bunch or drink just a little and sample a bunch. They have wine. They have a bunch of bottled beer too. So it's really cool. Brewport in El Segundo. If you like beer, if you like surf, go to Surfside. If you like beer, go to Brewport. And we'll be at both of those places from now on during the week. I went to Disneyland this past weekend with the family, did the classic annual season pass holder thing where you can kind of just like go on 2 or 3 things and then take off. So we went on things we never went on. We went in the Tiki Room, Enchanted Tiki Room, which I had never gone on. I didn't grow up going to Disneyland, so it was kind of fun to go check that out. There were birds singing in a room in a very 60s like old school just like weird variety show type setting. I wouldn't say that it was good. It was probably great in 60s, early 60s when I'm sure that came out, but it was just kind of hokey and fun. And then we took the train around the whole park, which I'd never done. And I didn't know there was like exhibits and things you could look at. You go through tunnels and different things. There's dinosaurs. And again, super 60s. I think those are 2 of the oldest things in the park. But that was just kind of fun to do. And then we went across and saw 8 minutes of Thor at Disneyland. So that was really cool. The new Thor Ragnarok film. That was pretty neat. Jeff Goldblum was funny in the 8 minutes we saw, and we got to see a little bit of the Hulk. And that was Annabelle's first movie. My daughter, she's going to be 3, and she had the 3D glasses on, and she got a little scared at the Hulk at the end because he dives at a giant like lava monster. But other than that, she was on board. So I think I'm going to take her to her first theatrical full-length movie for her birthday, which is next month. So there's a My Little Pony movie out, which I really would not like to see, but maybe that'll be the first one. Or hopefully, more likely, that movie Coco. I think it's called Coco, with I think it's a Disney, maybe Pixar, or maybe just Disney film coming out where the characters play guitar and things. So that should be kind of cool. We were at Guitar Center. They actually had guitars for sale from that movie already. And she got a kick out of that. So maybe I'll take her to that. I think it's November 22nd, that movie Coco. I just signed up for the Movie Pass, $9.95. Everyone was talking about that like a month ago, and I totally forgot about it. And people's cards are finally starting to show up. So I'm like, all right, I'll sign up for it. You can't go wrong because it's $9.95. And if you go to one movie, it pays for itself, I feel like, because I went to the movies. I saw Kingsman 2 a couple weeks ago, and that was like, I think $13, $13 just for one ticket. And so me and the wife got that. She goes, we're having a baby. We're not going to have any time to go to the movies. I know. And I go, I know, but if we go like every 2 months, it's still kind of paying for itself based on the average price of certain movies at certain places. So I think we will put that to use. Or maybe I'll start going more like, maybe I'll wake up on a Saturday morning before everybody wakes up and I'll just go see something. And then I'll just brag about it. Be like, yeah, I saw that. I saw My Little Pony by myself. No big deal. The word of the week for this episode is the word hallux, Hallux. That is the anatomy term for big toe. So we got to use that in a sentence as we do each and every week. Hallux, anatomy term for big toe. The other day, I woke up and hopped out of bed and fucked up my hallux. That's my use of it in a sentence. Messed up my hallux. Stubbed my hallux on the nightstand next to my bed that holds all my crossword puzzle books. There you go. Perfect. Hallux, word of the week. On this day, October 10th, the Great Chicago Fire finally stopped. Now, I didn't write down the year on this for some reason, but on October 10th, in some year, the Great Chicago Fire finally stopped. I don't know much about the Chicago Fire, except that's the name of their soccer team. And I think it was started by a cow that kicked over a bucket. Is that a thing? Or is that like the Cubs curse? I don't know. I'm getting my Chicago mythology mixed up. But October 10th in some year, the Great Chicago Fire finally stopped. This week's badass pop culture thing of the week is a Blu-ray that I got at Walmart. It is the movie Killer Klowns from Outer Space. It is a really cool cover. It has like a insert that is fancy for this time of year. It's like a really cool drawn, worn out clown, kind of a mask face thing, which, embellishes the movie and also just looks really cool. They had all these Blu-ray and DVD releases with this cool cover art exclusively at Walmart for $5 and $7. All these great movies like Poltergeist and Killer Klowns and other stuff. And they come with a coloring book of all the other covers of all the movies of that series. So there's a really cool coloring book, and they kind of look like almost like Day of the Dead-ish faces. And you got to check them out. Look at the horror section in your Walmart this month, and I'm sure you can find some gems. This week's badass pop culture thing of the week, the Blu-ray at Walmart of Killer Klowns from Outer Space, $7. Can't go wrong. This week's business of the week is Minty Tees. My good friend Sean Arenas. He has a t-shirt printing company in West Covina, California. You can go to mintytees.com, use the promo code BUDS, that's BUDDS, get 10% off your order, no matter how big, how small. They have some really cool, like novelty, goofy shirts, stuff you would see at like a Spencer Gifts or something. This was one I liked. It says Future Gamer, and it's got an arrow pointing down like from the belly to be like, hey, I'm pregnant and this kid's going to be a video gamer, which I should get for my wife because I'm sure any sperm of mine will turn into a gamer, right? There's another one that says, Dare, drugs are really expensive. That's cute, huh? Instead of to keep kids off drugs, it's drugs are really expensive. So that's a fun shirt. There's I Love You Puddin' shirts for your boyfriend or girlfriend. If you like Harley Quinn, I Love You Puddin'. And there's one that says, I like to party, and by party, I mean read books. I know if you like this podcast, you'd probably rock that shirt pretty good. I like to party, and by party, I mean read books. I'd get that for my wife. I'd get that for my good friend Jen Wojner, who I think listens to this show. Jen, I think I called you out on a cat t-shirt one time, so that's another shirt I think you'd like, Jen. I like to party, and by party, I mean read books. Use the promo code BUDS, BUDDS, for 10% off any size order on mintytees.com. We got the actor from Blank Check. We got the actor from The Sandlot. We got Brian. We got Victor. We got video games, and we got punk rock music. We're going to dive right in with the trivia and the great convo with these two great dudes. Here we go. Sitting here in beautiful Studio City, California, surrounded by cute dogs and new friends right off of a main street here in a very well-decorated apartment. I would say that there was a woman's touch in this apartment, and it is the apartment of my new friend, Mr. Victor DeMattia.
Yes.
And I said your name right.
Excellent pronunciation. That was perfect.
I wanted to say Mattia, and then your brother here said, no, it's the long A, the Chicago A, which I'm used to doing.
Right.
So thank you for having me in your apartment today to record this episode. Sitting right across from you is your brother, Mr. Brian Bonsall.
Right here. Thanks for having me today.
Now, Brian, you and I connected on Facebook the old-fashioned way.
Yes, we did.
I sent you a message. I was working on a 90th anniversary special for NBC about 3 or 4 months ago. And I had to get your signature for an appearance release to air a clip that you were on of Family Ties. And then we just kind of stayed in touch, and you said you were going to be on tour with the band you play in right now, the Ataris, which everybody might know. And you were in town with an off day, and you guys were kind enough to invite me over and do a quick trivia battle. So thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, Victor, people might recognize you and your voice from different projects. You were most famously Tommy Timmons in The Sandlot.
Timmy.
Yeah,
Tommy was my little brother. So I was the older brother,
Common
Timmy
mistake.
Timmons.
Timmy and Tommy Timmons.
Timmy and Tommy. So,
but the last name is Timmons?
Timmons, yeah, that's right.
Okay, that's where I got confused. Very good. So you were Timmy.
Right. Tommy was the younger one, and he repeated everything after I said it.
That's right. And you guys weren't actually related.
No. Just the one brother over here to my right.
Very good. And you also played Dennis in Dennis the Menace Dinosaur Hunter.
Yeah, that's right. It was a Disney Channel movie.
Oh, some of those Disney Channel movies really stand out in my mind. Those were great. You were Dennis himself, and you found some prehistoric bones. I watched the trailer.
Okay.
Just recently, and you found some bones for a dinosaur in Mr. Wilson's yard.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Do you remember, like, how young were you when you were making that movie?
I was like 6 or 7. I was little. That was one of the first things that I did, actually.
Man. What was the audition process like for a Dennis the Menace movie?
Oh, geez. I mean, to be honest, I was so young, I barely even remember. Honestly, what stands out the most about that whole thing is that when I was a kid, I was like severely allergic to dogs, and Dennis has this big sheepdog that goes everywhere with him. And so the entire movie, I was like having an allergy attack. It was If you go back and watch it, you'll see my eyes are all swollen and puffy.
Well, that's pretty amazing that they're like, this kid's too good. We can't get a kid that's not allergic to dogs. We need this kid, and we need the dog.
That's what it was. It must have been that.
You also appeared in movies like Turner and Hooch and Cool as Ice, the Vanilla Ice movie.
Yeah.
Was he a nice guy to work with as a kid, if you recall?
He, you know what? He was like, I didn't have a whole lot of interaction with him. I was really excited about it because that was like right after Ice Ice Baby came out and everything. And but he had like his whole entourage, like his whole posse, and he was just kind of like off doing his own thing, and he would just show up, like just kind of roll in and do his scenes and then take off again. So.
He was probably like mid-20s, so he was at the height of his career.
Right,
probably
absolutely.
all kinds of attention. There you go. You also are the host of a weekly podcast called Vic in a Box.
That's correct, yeah.
Which is a great title, and you guys just kind of BS about everything.
Yeah, it's me and my buddy Steve, and we just kind of talk whatever, mostly like movies and TV shows, and I get Brian to call in and get some of my other friends to call on the show once in a while, and it's a lot of fun.
There you go. I heard the most recently you guys were talking about how terrible it is to work out, get the workout regimen going.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't do anything. I'm like, I've always had a pretty good metabolism, so I don't like ever get what I would call fat, like looking like I've never been like out of shape, but I've never been healthy. I used to have like a case of Pepsi in my locker in high school and have like 3 Pepsis a day, like that kind of stuff. Right. So I never played sports past 8th grade and things like that. But I'm in the same boat. Like this last week, I was like, you know what? I'm going to start running 20 minutes a day. And after 20 minutes, I feel like I've done like a marathon. Like I can't even, I'm like 20 minutes. I made it. It's
pretty brutal, man. Especially like after I got past the age of 30, it just like got worse and worse and worse. Brian is the same way as you. He's got that crazy metabolism. I've seen this guy like eat an entire cheesecake before.
That's true. God. I mean, I feel like I relapsed last night. I think I had 6, not 6 packs of Tasty Cakes because they come in 2, but I had 3 packs of Tasty Cakes.
You know where I had my first Tasty Cake? Jersey Mike's started carrying them because I think they're an East Coast thing.
Right. And there yesterday.
Oh my God. Oh yeah, Jersey Mike's.
Chipotle cheesesteak.
I got to get Jersey Mike's to be a sponsor of this podcast somehow.
Oh man.
Brian, people might recognize you as young Andy on Family Ties.
That is true.
Would you say that's your most famous, well-known role?
I mean, I'd say so. I mean, Family Ties was, the second best show in America, in its time.
Sure.
Under the Cosby Show.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I'd say so. I mean, it's I did Star Trek as well.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a runner-up in a tough battle.
Yeah, you get a lot of Star Trek. And Mikey, people love Mikey.
Yeah, it's become a cult classic. B-rated horror film.
I did not realize. I looked it up right before I got here, and I watched the trailer. I was terrified of this movie as a kid, and because they said, Jason and Freddy Krueger were kids too, or whatever the tagline was. And I remember being like, they probably were pretty bad kids. And as a kid myself, this movie used to come on. I feel like USA Network a lot, and I watched a lot of wrestling as a kid. So I'd be watching like Monday Night Raw.
I did too.
It would go off, and then like it would be like Mike. The name would go across the screen, and I would like run out of the room. And I can't believe that was you as well, because you've had like kind of like like the most wholesome character as a little boy that they add to Family Ties, and then this murderous child killing everybody in the neighborhood.
Definitely. I mean, the most common question for my mom was, why would you let your kid do that? And it was a lot of fun. I mean, I at that age already, I knew what a movie was and what wasn't.
And what was playing and what was reality and things like that. Did they like someone sit down and explain it to you? Like, was that part of the audition process? Like, now you're going to be doing some stuff in this movie that's very brutal.
I mean, yeah, they definitely did. I mean, before that, I had done a few TV movies where I was so young that they would give me an edited copy so I could see the movie and see what I did, but it wouldn't make any sense because they would pull all that stuff they didn't want me to see out of it. But by the time, even though I was 8 when I filmed Mikey, at that time, I guess my mom felt that I was old enough to grasp that it was fake, so I didn't get the edited copy of that movie.
And honestly, that movie, I think that character is closest to your real personality at the time anyway.
You can't. If anybody's taking a bath or in a hot tub around Brian, you got to watch out. He'll throw something electronic in there. It happens twice in the trailer. You were also in something near and dear to my heart. Now, I messaged you this. I kind of fanned out on you before I knew you well. And I said, my mom rented this movie for my 7th birthday party. All my friends came over, and that was like the party. It was like, we're going to watch Blank Check. And you played the star. You were Preston
Waters.
Oh, man.
That was a lot of fun. It was, it took place in Indiana, but we filmed it all over Texas.
You've gotten to do so many things that I've thought about doing. It's like hang out with Michael J. Fox. You've gotten to, spend all this fake money. You've gotten to kill weird suburbanites. It's a good time.
But when I look back, it's pretty, baffles me sometimes.
Yeah. You get to do a lot of cool stuff. And right now you're doing a very cool thing. You're playing guitar in the Ataris.
That is true.
Which a lot of people know. The Ataris, So Long Astoria, I think was the album that really popped in the early 2000s.
True.
And you're on tour with them right now. Where did you play this last couple days?
Once we got here to California, we started this tour, which was back-to-back with the Warped Tour that we just did. And we didn't do the last 4 or 5 dates of California on the Warped Tour because we started a new tour with a legendary punk band, the Queers, that have been around for 30 years.
Yeah.
And so we started that tour in Mesa, Arizona, and then we quickly came to California, did Hermosa at St. Rock.
Awesome.
We did the Viper Room, and then last night we played Discovery in Ventura.
Oh, very good.
So,
now, are fans of the Ataris, are they noticing, are they going, is that the guy from that thing? Like, are people coming up to you?
It's definitely turning out to be that way.
Yeah,
I mean, at first, no, but then, definitely doing Warped Tour. Even had some fans come from Mexico to San Antonio, and they had their DVDs with them.
Oh, that's
and
great.
It was pretty cool to see.
That's very cool. Well, we're going to get into your topics you guys gave me for the podcast. Now that we know a little bit about each of you and your careers, we'll start with Brian's topics. I asked each of you to give me 5 things you're into, and I'll pick one of those things and ask you 10 questions on it. So, Brian, your first topic was punk rock. Mm-hmm. Big punk rock fan. Obviously, you're in a band.
I am very much so. Yeah.
Would you call Ataris? Is that a punk band, a pop punk band? Is there a certain genre,
I think,
subgenre?
I think they fall somewhat, in the pop punk category. But at the same time, it's honest rock and roll, and when the Ataris kind of started playing, Chris moved to Santa Barbara and all that, and started working with the Vandals and Kung Fu Records.
Yeah.
It was surrounded by that, that pop punk category, and I think it's definitely got some of those elements in there.
There you go. Well, who are some of your favorite punk bands all time?
I'm a fanatic of Fat Records bands, and I love NoFX, Lagwagon, Strung Out, No Use for a Name, Good Riddance. Some of the newer bands I've really fallen in love with is Banner Pilot.
Yeah.
And Dead to Me.
Sure.
And there's a lot.
Yeah. My first concert I ever went to was Blink-182.
Nice.
At a place called the Tweeter Center. It was called The World, maybe at the time. It was in Tinley Park, Illinois, south side of Chicago. And it was Blink-182 headlining, and I think the opening bands were Alkaline Trio, one of my other favorites with my Alkaline Trio shirt on, Bad Religion, and Phoenix TX.
Well, I think that was
it was a great show.
I just played some shows with Phoenix TX.
They're still playing.
Yeah, we just did some shows in the UK.
I got the Amazon Unlimited.
Great dudes.
Oh, nice. I got Amazon Unlimited, and you can look up anything of all time. It's like Spotify and all that stuff. So I went through all the Phoenix songs just the other day on the way, like the last week on the way to work. And man, I used to rock out to quite a few of those.
Oh, that's awesome.
You got any favorite punk bands over here, Vic?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, all the bands that Brian just named. I love Propaganda is probably maybe my favorite punk band.
Yeah.
Bad Religion, of course, amazing.
Such a fun experience to see these bands live, too.
Oh, my God,
especially in their heyday. And
yeah,
so true.
really.
Yeah, a lot of late 90s, early 2000s, like right when I started kind of going to concerts. That's when a lot of those were the hottest,
Yeah.
We actually, Brian and I saw Blink-182 at the first Warped Tour.
Really?
True.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, what year was it?
New
Do you remember?
Jersey.
It was
97, I believe.
Yeah,
Wow.
I think something like that. Yeah, it might have been even 96.
Maybe in 96.
Yeah.
You're right. I think it was because the second Warped Tour was 97. I saw in Boulder, and I couldn't in Colorado.
We had to have our parents take us.
Yep. And we met Blink-182, and we bought shirts, and NoFX couldn't make it because they were caught in a snowstorm or something like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How about Matt Skiba in the modern Blink-182? You guys dig it?
It's different.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool to hear someone someone from another band that you love
with a distinctive voice.
Yeah, definitely.
It was definitely a good replacement. I can't think of maybe a better replacement, but it's a different sound. I'm still kind of getting used to it, but I'm looking for like maybe one more album with all of them together, and then I'll kind of be able to judge it a little bit better. Your next topic, video games, just in general, which was a topic from both of you guys. You're both big gamers.
Yes.
Now, is it sports gaming? Is it super nerdy fantasy type stuff? What are you into?
all that stuff for me.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't play many sports games. I used to growing up, but I'm more into the RPG. I love The Witcher 3, and I played the Dragon Age games. And but I also love the first person shooters. You know, I get pretty addicted to even Call of Duty, and I love Destiny.
Yeah. I've been getting into a lot of these third person kind of adventure games like the Uncharted's and Tomb Raider. The Tomb Raider, man, those are phenomenal. If you're looking for a good game with a lot of replay value. Your next topic, backpacks. I thought that was kind of an interesting one. I was trying to think of how I would write a backpack trivia question. But you're into you have all kinds of different brands of backpacks?
I mean, I think being on tour is what caused that so much. You know, you're always looking for the perfect backpack to fit all your electronics, and you know, a sweatshirt, your clothes, you know, whatever, hidden pockets for money you make and you can't get to a bank, or you know, all that jazz. So I threw that in there because I do have quite a collection of backpacks at this point.
How many do you think you have?
I'd say only about 6 or 7.
Yeah.
About 7, but still, that's a lot of backpacks. Yeah.
That's pretty good. Yeah. I have 3 backpacks, but they're all probably the cheapest backpacks you could buy. I just use them to carry like this kind of stuff in. You know what I mean? Are you a big backpack guy, Vic? You have a lot of backpacks?
I have 2.
Okay.
You know, and so one is a Philadelphia Eagles backpack because I'm a big Philly sports guy. I love Sixers and Eagles and not so much the Phillies right now.
Sure.
Flyers aren't really doing so great, but definitely the Eagles and the Sixers look like they're turning the corner.
There you go.
So I got like a, you know, just a little JanSport Eagles backpack.
JanSport. Shout out to JanSport.
Yeah, hey. and then I got another one that's like a bigger, like got all kinds of different pockets on it and like a water bottle holder on the side. I'll take that on an airplane or something like that.
There you go. Got a little something for everybody. Your next topic was tacos. Mm-hmm. You ever have a backpack full of tacos?
Oh wow,
you should do that,
would be awesome.
Maybe Trejo's tacos.
There you go.
But yes, I think a lot of people can relate. Tacos are amazing.
Yeah.
I think Mexican food is probably my favorite type of food, and tacos always sound good to me.
I have a very bizarre tidbit that just popped in my head. There used to be a Taco Bell on Olive and Pass right by Warner Brothers. And in that Taco Bell, the wall was lined with child actor headshots. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Were you guys in there on that wall?
Oh, yeah.
Both your headshots?
I may have been, actually, and I think you were as well.
Maybe so. I don't know that for a fact. I know I was on the wall of an Alpha Beta in Palm Springs.
Beta.
Yeah, Palm Springs.
Yeah.
I just, that Taco Bell, I used to live on Olive and Pass, walking distance from there, a little place called the Starlet. It looks like an old motel. It has like a neon lady on the sign.
Yeah, right.
And that was my first apartment in LA, so I used to walk to that Taco Bell all the time. And it was only open like studio hours, so you couldn't go past like 8 o'clock. It was closed. But I always thought it was weird. I'm like, they have all those kid actor things in the wall. Then they bulldozed it down, and now it's a doghouse hot dog place.
Oh wow,
right.
Did they keep the child actors?
I don't know. They should have put them, right in the doghouse. That would be good. Your last topic was Carmelo is underrated.
Yeah.
Now, real quick, I need to clarify.
Yeah.
This is one of 2 things.
Yeah.
This is either the athlete. Or the candy bar.
It's the candy bar.
Oh my God, I'm so glad.
Caramello, yeah.
Caramello. It's one of my favorite of all time.
Yeah.
And you can't find it very many places.
No, it's not everywhere, and that's why, I kind of want it more. Because I'll get to some podunk little town and get out to gas up the van and stretch your legs, and I'm like, I want a caramello, and they won't have it.
No.
Or if they do,
it's dusty
it'll be
as hell.
Very dusty.
Bottom shelf, way in the back. Yeah.
Like crumbly, the chocolate's all crumbly.
Look at the date on it, and
I feel your pain. I had to look up the athlete in case you wanted to talk about that for a second, because I don't even know.
Well, if you looked it up and learned some facts, we could talk about him too.
Right. No, he's overrated, if anything.
There you go. They have the, sometimes you could find at a grocery store, a big square, like a rectangle bar, like I call them old people candy bars, like my grandpa always used to have them, and it's a Cadbury caramel. It's not called a caramello, but it's the same exact thing.
Yeah.
It's the same ingredients. So check that out.
I'll keep an eye out for that.
Look at like a Ralph's or something like that.
Cool.
So those are your topics. Those were really good. Vic, your topics, Shih Tzus.
Yeah.
Because you got 2 running around here.
I got 2 of them running around, and I can't wait to add more to the pack. Now, maybe when I get a bigger house.
Were these your dogs or your wife's dogs or both? Or
They were. My wife had Wally, the older one.
Sure.
Who's like pushing 10 now. He's getting up there.
And I forgot to say, the winner of this podcast gets Wally. I forgot to
Oh, geez.
You can follow them on Instagram.
The other one, Chip, you could give away, but Wally, my wife would kill you. She would hunt you down. Yeah. Yeah, follow them on Instagram, the Boosh Brothers.
Boosh Brothers.
And then we got Chip.
Yeah.
After we weren't married yet when we got Chip. But he's just a little over 2. He's a little crazy. But Shih Tzus are amazing.
Sure.
I never thought I'd always grown up with like pit bulls and Rottweilers and stuff. I always had real big dogs.
Oh yeah.
And I never thought that I would be into having a little dog, but these things are amazing. So after getting to know Wally, I was like, let's get another Shih Tzu. And I mean, they're perfect for my lifestyle. They don't do anything. They just lay around.
They don't shed either, do they?
They don't shed because it's like they have like human like hair, and so that's why you have to get haircuts for them because they just grow and grow and grow.
Yeah.
But they're awesome. Like, I mean, these dogs, I have to drag them outside just to go to the bathroom.
They're just the house dogs.
Right.
Like hanging
they're
out.
perfect for me because I'm lazy.
I'm with you, man. That's the perfect dog. Your next topic, also video games. We mentioned that.
Right,
we talked about some of your favorites. Your topic after that, guitars and music, or guitar/music.
Yeah, I've always also been, a musician and playing in punk
You play
bands
some
and
stuff
too? And yeah.
Guitar?
Yeah, play guitar.
He taught me the first chords I ever learned.
Really?
Yeah,
When I think
Who's older? Are you guys about the same age?
I'm a year older.
You're older. Very good. So you had a year ahead of him on the guitar, and you taught him some chords.
That's right, yeah. Taught him how to play guitar. I taught him everything he knows.
I think I was about maybe 13. You were 14?
I think something like that, yeah.
And you've been in a lot of bands as well.
Yeah, I've been in a few. In high school, I was in a band for years and years called Spastic, and we did some recording and played a lot of shows, and that was a blast. And then when I was in college in San Francisco, I had a band called Massive Package. Played a lot of shows up there, and that was fun too. And so I've been playing music in a few years now, so maybe it's time to get back into it. We'll see.
Jump back on board. Get in the recording booth. You guys should do like a Brothers album.
We've talked about that.
Yeah, we're actually talking about that.
I love it. We'll tease it early here on the show. Your next topic, conspiracy theories, which was just mentioned. I did an episode yesterday with two friends, and that was one of their topics. And we've actually done it on the show before. It was an episode. The title was Conspiracy Theories versus Architecture.
Oh.
What do you think you'd be better at, architecture or conspiracy theories?
Oh, conspiracy theories, for
Well,
sure.
obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
You got some. What are some?
Architecture requires like math and shit. I mean, I can't do that.
What are some of maybe what's like your favorite conspiracy theory? Not a lot of people like talk about. There's obviously like the 9/11s or the Roswells. And things. Are there any that maybe you don't think are talked about as much or enough?
My new favorite one, which is like it's actually I think kind of becoming more popular. It's starting to gather some steam.
Yeah,
but
all the kids in the Sandlot were robots.
That's right.
That's what I was thinking.
Is the hollow Earth theory.
Oh,
so
yeah.
everybody's heard about the flat Earth people.
Sure.
And we actually did an episode on my podcast a couple weeks ago about flat Earth.
I got to check it out.
Yeah, we get into it. We sort it out once and for all. It turns out the Earth is round.
Sure,
it's spherical, so don't worry, it's not flat.
But the hollow part comes.
But the hollow
a
Earth,
race of people that live in the hollow part.
Right. So there's like a hole. Like I don't know if it's in Antarctica or in the Arctic. On one of the sides, the top or the bottom of the Earth.
Yeah.
There's a big hole, and you fly down into the hole, and then there's like another smaller Earth inside of the Earth with a whole nother race of people in there, like lizard people or something that come up to the surface.
Because we've never been able to drill past a certain amount of point.
Right, exactly.
A couple miles deep or something.
Right, we've only been so far down, or have we?
Dun, dun, dun. Very good. Listen to some more conspiracy theories over on Vic in a Box.
Yeah.
Your last topic, fantasy football.
Oh, yeah, I love fantasy football.
You do the gambling? You gamble on it?
Can I answer that question? I don't know. No, I've never ever gambled on fantasy football.
Of course.
But I'm way into it. I love it. In fact, I think we're gonna do a fantasy football podcast, a separate one where we just like a quick and dirty 20 minutes and just get all your fantasy football advice real quick. It's called No Filler Fantasy. We're gonna start that in like a couple of weeks here, right before people start drafting. But yeah, I love it, and I probably spend way too much time on there. My wife hates it.
What about your team names that you name your team?
Oh,
so
right.
when you beat people.
I always like to come up with a name that somebody would be really, especially like a fantasy football kind of macho guy is going to be upset about losing to. So my team name this year is Rainbow Unicorns.
So that somebody could potentially be the Rainbow Unicorns.
Right.
I love it. That's great. I gamble on fantasy wrestling, and I am in debt, guys. It is not.
Oh,
going well.
jeez.
They do have fantasy wrestling, though.
Do they really?
You can like draft wrestlers, and then you follow their matches, which are all obviously scripted.
Right, that's
you
amazing.
Still get points, and it's kind. I don't know if I'm that nerdy. I don't know if I'm that into it to follow it that much, because I don't watch like every match and every thing. I just kind of watch the big stuff and kind of keep my eye on it. So, are you still now, Brian? Are you still a wrestling fan? You still watch it all?
I don't watch it much these days.
Yeah.
I think if I had cable, maybe I would. But
Sure.
I just do the Netflix thing, and
Yeah, I only watch. They put Monday Night Raw and SmackDown on Hulu. So
that's cool.
They cut them down from 2 and 3 hours to an hour and a half. So
Cool.
it's kind of like you get the best of.
Did
the
you watch
990 version.
Glow on Netflix?
I just finished it.
Oh
man.
my
I
God, it
loved
was awesome,
I thought it was
wasn't it?
great.
Yeah,
Mark
it was
Maron,
really good.
phenomenal
Yeah.
performance. I thought he was so good. Okay, we got all 5 of both of your topics. We're going to reveal the topic I chose for both of you. Brian, your topic is punk rock.
all right.
10 questions on punk rock. And Vic, your topic is video games.
Uh-oh.
So this is punk rock versus video games. This is the Trivia Showdown.
Trivia Showdown.
So we'll go back and forth. I'll ask you guys questions. We'll go punk rock, video games back and forth. And you can both answer any question. You're going
right.
to have a buzz-in word, and you got to wait for the whole question to be read so people can play along at home. So what's a buzz-in word that means something between the two of you guys as brothers, like 1 or 2 syllables, just maybe a fun word, or maybe one of the dogs. Well, the dogs might go nuts if you keep calling their name. Or maybe bro or something like that.
Pork chop.
Pork chop. Love it. What does pork chop refer to?
I don't know. It's my it's actually my Wi-Fi password, so now I'm gonna have to change that.
Oh boy! All right, pork chop is the buzz-in word. You'll buzz in with pork chop. Wait for the whole question to be read, and we'll start. You get 1 point when you get your topic right, 2 points when you get the other guy's topic right, and then we'll do a couple more things called the combo question and categories with buds to close it out. This is the Trivia Showdown. First question: punk rock. Number 1. What was the name of the Ramones' first album in 1976?
Oh man.
What was the name of the Ramones' first album, 1976?
Can I jump in? Wait, is it like is this like Jeopardy? Do I lose
No.
money if I guess wrong?
Nope. You just buzz in
pork,
time.
pork chop.
Pork chop. What do you have, Vic?
The Ramones.
It is Ramones. Yeah, it was just the Ramones.
I did. That was just a shot in the dark.
So
but I
that's
thought, hey,
Trick question.
Right.
That's 2 points for Vic because he stole that topic.
Right.
That was not his topic, so that's 1 down. Here's question number 1 for video games. Maybe Brian can steal one of these.
All right.
Number 1, how many total buttons were on the original Nintendo controller?
Oh, pork chop.
What do you got, Vic?
4. Right? Because there's the start and the select buttons, and then the A and the B. Am I missing something?
Kinda.
I would say 10.
10.
Yeah. What? How does the directional pad? Does that count as
So I was
4 buttons?
I'll kind of give you guys. I was counting it as 1 big button. So 5.
okay.
1, and then the start select, and then the other 2 for 5.
I'm gonna challenge
You're
that.
gonna
I don't
challenge
know
that
if
one?
the directional counts as a button.
You don't think
right?
it's a button?
Yeah, maybe it is. I guess it is a button, right? It's got to push on something.
You got to push it. All right. No points there. Here's question number 2 for punk rock. Number 2, Scott Rayner was the drummer for what pop punk band up until 1998? Scott Rayner. Drummer for what pop punk band up until 1998?
Blink 182.
That is correct. Brian gets his first
You didn't
point.
say pork chop.
Oh, but it was my question.
Well, you're buzzing it on all the
Okay,
questions.
all right.
Because he might be able to.
Pork chop.
Yeah, he might get it before you. There it is. 1 point for Brian, 2 for Vic. Here's question number 2 for video games. In Sonic the Hedgehog 2, they added a sidekick to Sonic. What was his name?
Stunt cock.
It was
Stunt cock.
that should have been the buzz-in word.
Stunt cock.
Pork chop.
Yes.
Tails.
It was Tails.
Hell
That
yeah.
is Vic's
There you
third
go.
point. 3, 2, 1. Did you play those games growing up, Sonic the Hedgehog?
Oh yeah, I loved Sonic.
Those were fun, but I feel like when you go back now, they're not as fun.
No,
It's-
not at all. Because all you do is just
There's
run.
Yeah.
a modern one coming out for Switch that
That looks. Oh, you a Switch guy?
yeah, I'm a Switch guy.
I'm a Switch
So,
guy.
Yeah.
I should. It's actually in my trunk.
Oh geez.
Nice.
If I had a longer lunch break, we'd be having a Mario Kart tournament. Oh my god! Here's question number 3 for the old punk rock category. Bands like the Misfits played at CBGB's, a famous New York venue. What other 3 genres of music did CBGB stand for?
Oh wow, I should know this.
So the acronym CBGB is 3 other total genres of music.
Yeah.
Well, was there country and bluegrass?
Working it out at his brothers. I like it.
Yeah.
You're missing one more.
Yeah. Country, bluegrass.
It's gonna start with a B.
It's gonna start with a B.
It might make you sad. Or it might cure your sadness.
Blues.
Big
That's
band.
right. It was blues.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give that one to Brian.
I needed
so there
some
you go.
help there. I'm
It's,
learning here.
You got it.
I'm learning
country, bluegrass,
how to be
and
punk
blues. It's 2-3, and we're moving on to question number 3 for video games. In what Mario game for GameCube did Mario have a water gun?
Oh, jeez.
In what Mario game did he have a water gun?
man.
One of the more modern games last
Right.
15
No, I
years
know.
or
It's
so?
right on the tip of my tongue. I don't know.
was
Brian, if
called-
you can jump in.
Pork chop.
Yep.
Was it Mario Odyssey? No.
That's the new one coming out for Switch.
Yeah, but there was already one out, wasn't there?
Not called Odyssey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There's been a number of they're all called like Super Mario something. So it's one
Okay.
word and water gun. Any guesses?
Super Mario Squirt.
You're very close.
Oh, shit.
Any last guesses, Brian?
Super Mario. Oh, man.
Stuntcock. Yes, it was Super Mario Stuntcock. No, it was Super Mario Sunshine.
Oh, shit.
He's like
yeah,
cleaning up
wouldn't have
graffiti
guessed.
or
Right,
something with a big
yeah,
water tank.
right.
I actually never played it, but yeah, that was that one.
There was a big gap where I didn't play a lot of Mario games.
The GameCube I never owned. I
Yeah,
had
I
the
didn't
Wii.
either.
The Wii ones were called Mario Galaxy. Galaxy
Okay.
1 and
Yeah,
2.
right,
That's
right.
what
Yeah.
I don't know
That
why
might
I
have-
was mixing that up with Odyssey.
There you go.
That's what I was.
Here's question number 4 for punk music. Finish this Black Flag lyric. You know a lot of Black Flag songs?
Yes, I know some.
This is a pretty famous one. We've got nothing better to do than watch TV and have a couple of what?
Bruise.
That's right, Bruise. 1 point for Brian. It's 3-3
Pork chop
now.
Bruise.
Yeah, pork chop Bruise.
Pork chop bruise.
3-3. Here's question number 4 for video games. Who was on the cover of Madden 2017? Recent Madden game.
Oh, that's the one that was just out. So
Yep.
that would
You were
be
playing it last night, weren't you?
Rob Gronkowski.
That's right, Gronk. He was the host of the show Crashleets that was on Nickelodeon that I worked on.
Oh, cool.
For 2 seasons, and we are starting in the next few weeks on the next season, but I don't know if he's going to be the host or not. So I think it's still up in the air. But that's kind of cool. He's a really cool guy. I've gotten to work with
Right.
him. He's exactly how he's portrayed. You know, he's a chill,
he
kinda
seems like it.
kind of aloof party dude.
Yeah,
but, like,
right.
Gets the work done, you know. Pretty cool.
It's awesome that it works out that way.
Yeah. Here's question number 5 for punk rock. We're about halfway through this trivia showdown. What state is the setting for the film SLC Punk?
Utah, pork chop.
Pork Chop, Utah. In reverse order, that's 2 points because it's not his category. So Brian is now in the lead, 5-4. And Vic, you Salt Lake City.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that was no. That was his category.
I know,
Punk
but
rock was
didn't
his
you live in
category.
Salt Lake City?
I know, but I thought I was. I don't know. I should have jumped in. I thought I was supposed to give him a chance.
No, you can. You're battling.
I felt
you're battling
that.
to
Some
the
sort
death.
of-
I'm trying to give him. I'm trying to give him a leg up. I'm trying to give him a head start.
Loser has to grill the winner of pork chop. I think that's what we should do.
All right.
Question number 5 for video games. Glass Joe is the first fighter you face in what Nintendo game?
Tyson's Punch Out.
Yep, Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Yeah.
You got
Nice.
it. That's
I
5-5.
wouldn't have got that one. It's been so long since
Oh, everybody
I played
knows Glass Joe.
Glass
Come on.
Joe, he's a poor son of a bitch, that guy. Here's question number 6 for punk music. Mick Jones was the guitarist for what band formed in 1976?
that. Oh no, I don't think I know this one.
Mick Jones was the guitarist for what band formed in 76? A lot of punk bands, 76.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's see here.
Thinking it over. It's a famous one.
Right. 76.
I'm gonna just throw something out there. Sex Pistols.
Great guess, incorrect.
The
You got
Clash.
it. It is the Clash.
Yeah.
It is the Clash. So that's 2 for Vic. 7-5. Pork chop.
Stunt cock.
I like pork chop as a taunt after you get it right. That's pretty good. Here's question number 6 for video games. Metal Gear Solid is a game made by what game company?
Pork Chop.
Yep.
Konami?
It is Konami.
Yeah.
For Vic's 8th point, 8-5. Those are great games. Man, when I played Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty on PlayStation 2.
Oh, yeah, that
you
one
could
was
hide
awesome.
people in the boxes. And
I think that was probably my favorite one.
That's a great game. Here's question number 7. Who had albums called Everything Sucks and Milo Goes to College?
Oh,
Pork
come on.
chop.
What do you got, Brian?
Descendants.
The Descendants, one of my favorite bands of all
Yeah.
time. There it is. Your 6 point, 6-8. Vic's still winning by a few, but we got a lot more points to divvy out.
Uh-oh.
This is number 7 for video games. In what series do you play as someone named Master Chief?
Oh, Pork Chop. That's Halo.
That is Halo
True.
for your 9th point. You ever play those games, Halo?
Oh, my God, yeah. Too
fan?
much.
Too much.
In college, yeah.
Multiplayer, get that sword.
I played one of them when what was it? The original Maybe the original Xbox came out.
Yeah, first that was their big game.
Right.
That was before people
got
were like, Microsoft's making a system, like no one.
Right.
you know,
Yeah, exactly. And it was
awesome.
hideous. It was like this giant box.
with a big green X on it.
Still have one, yeah.
There you go. Number 8. What band's logo is a cross that is crossed out?
Pork chop.
Oh,
Bad
Ryan,
Religion.
Bad Religion
Too
is
quick for
correct.
me on that one.
And it's 7-9, just like that. Bad Religion, seen them live.
Crossbuster.
And they are tons of fun to see live.
That is very
Bunch of
true.
energy. Number 8. What was the first Final Fantasy game to have 3D graphics on PlayStation in 1997?
Oh, pork chop.
Yep.
That's Final Fantasy 7.
It is 7, and that's the 10th point for Vic, 10-7. You play those Final Fantasy games? I hear that's like one of the best ones to play.
That one was awesome. I definitely played that. I haven't played a Final Fantasy game in a long time though.
I've never played one.
Yeah.
that one was
I've
cool.
seen 'em,
If you're gonna play one, play
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 7.
I used to own Final Fantasy 2 on Super Nintendo, and it was worth a ton of money.
Oh,
I
wow.
think I sold it for like $100.
Oh, wow.
on eBay or something. But
cool.
yeah, those games are sought after, the old cartridge ones. Here's number 9 for punk. What pop punk band has songs named 2,000 Light Years Away and One for the Razorbacks?
Pork chop.
Yep.
Green Day.
It is Green Day, and that's your 8th point. 8-10. It's a 2-point game. It's very close.
Just for the
between
record,
the
I knew
brothers.
like the last 3 punk rock ones, and Brian's just way too quick
Yep.
on the pork chop.
Too quick on the pork chop. Number 9. What puzzle game was created by Alexei Pachinov
pork
in
chop.
1984?
That's Tetris.
Of course it is. Tetris, your 11th point. That music gets stuck in your head.
Oh yeah, it's
You
still
know?
for the last like 30 years now. It's been
playing in my head right now.
Very good. And we have one question left for each topic. So this is the last punk rock question. Let's see who gets this one. Maybe there'll be a steal here. You never know. Number 10. Which one of the Atari's albums has been certified gold?
Pork chop.
Oh.
Yep.
So Long Astoria.
So Long Astoria. Close to home.
I mean, I gave you that one because it would have been how embarrassing if you couldn't answer that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right now, it's 10-11. So it's a very close game.
Uh-oh.
And this last question is a true-false question for either of you. Whoever
This is
can
for all
buzz
the
in.
marbles because
For all
it's
the
just a
marbles.
1-point game.
1-point
wow.
game, but then we have 5 possible other
Oh,
points
okay,
to give you in the next
cool,
two rounds.
cool.
But yeah, it could be anybody's game. Number 10, true or false? So you're buzzing in as quick as you can with true or false.
All right.
There was a Sandlot video game based on the movie for Super Nintendo in Japan. True or false?
Pork chop. I'm gonna say false.
The answer is false. I made
man.
it up.
If
but I thought maybe I
that
could
was
you.
true, I would have been on eBay like right now trying to find that thing.
I thought I could maybe
That
catch
was a
you.
good question.
So that's one right there. So right now it's 12-10. So again, very close game. You guys kicked ass on punk rock and video games. What do you think of the questions?
I thought they were great.
Yeah.
Good mix?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
All right. Okay, so here
There
we
were
go. This is-
definitely some I had no idea the answers
Right.
to, and there were some that I picked up.
challenging and yet attainable.
There we go. I like it. This is the second round. This is called the combo question. So I have one question that I combined both punk rock and video games for.
Oh.
And if you get this right, you get 2 points. Okay, so it combines both your topics. Here it is, the combo question.
Combo question.
Police Truck by the Dead Kennedys and Psycho Vision by Suicidal Tendencies were 2 punk songs found on the soundtrack to what first video game in a long series?
Oh,
Pork chop.
Ryan.
Tony Hawk.
Tony
son
Hawk's
of a
Pro
bitch.
Skater for 2 points, and he ties the game.
Good
It's
one.
12-12.
Oh,
so it's
man.
all going to come down to
Oh,
this
geez.
last round. This almost never happens, so good job, guys. This is called Categories with Buds. By the way, how great were the soundtracks in the Tony Hawk games?
Oh,
They were
amazing.
great. So much fun.
It was to combine punk rock,
Oh, my
video
God.
games,
Yep.
skateboarding.
They nailed it. so-
right. I got turned on to a lot of bands through
Yeah,
those games.
me
It
too.
was
No
awesome.
doubt.
All right. This is question.
No doubt, but
This is the third round. This is not really a question. I'm going to give you a category, and we're going to go around in a circle and name something from this category for as long as we can. I'll play with you guys, and
Okay.
I'll kick it off.
Categories with buds.
The category for this week's Categories with Buds is famous guitarists. So as long as we've all heard of them, we're good to go, and we'll go in a circle. And the last person standing that can keep naming them will get 3 points. So this is down.
Okay.
I feel like you guys will be better at this than me. So if I win, I award the points to one of you, but I don't think that'll happen. So this is famous guitarists. I'm going to kick it off with Eric Clapton,
Carlos Santana,
Jimmy Page,
Jimi Hendrix,
Slash,
David Gilmour,
The Edge.
Joe Perry.
Brian Bonsall.
God damn it. I was saving it. I was like, wait for this next kiss ass answer. It's coming up for me, but the brother Pork Chop stole it. Brother Pork Chop. Let's see. You threw me all off. Tom DeLonge, Is he a famous
Oh, yeah?
guitarist?
Yeah,
sure,
All right,
that counts.
Tom DeLonge.
Chris Rowe.
El Jefe. Does that count from No Effects? He's famous to me in my
He's
world.
famous to me, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Richie Sambora from Bon Jovi.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and say one of my favorite guitar players, Warren Fitzgerald.
Ooh.
Oh, I love him. Keith Richards.
Wes Borland. I'm running out. My tank's getting dry.
Ray Carlisle.
Jeff Beck.
I'm going to say I'm eliminated, so it's down to the brothers. Who's it going to be? I can't think of any other ones. Brian or Vic? Going back and forth, Brian's up.
Oh, I'm up. Okay. Let's see here. Christopher Flippin.
B.B. King.
Oh.
Oh, dang. Silence.
It's 12 to 12. We'll give Brian another 3 or 4 seconds here.
Why do I draw a blank?
It's tough, man. We've gone for a little while.
Vic, can you name one more?
Muddy Waters.
Muddy Waters for the win.
Yeah.
And that is it, 15 to 12. Very close game. Great job, brothers. Good stuff. You had a good time?
Yeah, that was
Great
a blast.
time.
Thank you
sure.
so much for doing it. Thanks for
for
inviting
having
me
us.
into your home.
Yeah.
And Brian for setting this up while you're on the road. I really appreciate it. Do you guys have anything you want to plug before you get out of here? Vic in the Box, where can people
Vic
find
in
that?
a Box podcast. Yeah,
Yeah.
go check it out on iTunes or wherever. Basically anywhere podcasts are listenable.
Sure.
And of course, go see the Ataris tomorrow night in Santa Cruz or wherever
tomorrow night,
wherever you'll be tomorrow night when this airs.
Yeah. There you go.
Catalyst Club in Santa Cruz. Obviously, check out the Ataris if you haven't already. BrianBonsall.bandcamp.com has all my past music from personal bands and such. And,
Very cool.
Some of it you can find on Spotify too, but you can search there first. And yeah.
Very cool. And then sometimes I saw online, like you go to like Sandlot screenings. Do you, any of those coming up?
Oh yeah, especially like in the summer we do a whole bunch of those.
Sure.
I don't have any in the immediate future.
Yeah.
Next year is going to be a big one because next year is the 25th anniversary.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so
Very
we'll be
cool.
probably all over the country next year. So stay tuned. You can follow me on Twitter or Facebook, Victor DiMattia, and
Yeah.
I'll keep everybody updated on appearances.
And Brian, do you have a Twitter handle? You do the Twitter?
I do.
What is
it's
it?
Mr. Brian Bonsall
Mr.
at Twitter.
Brian
yeah.
Bonsall.
Instagram,
Guys,
all that jazz.
fantastic. Thanks so much. Have a great rest of your week.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Ryan.
Another close battle on the Trivia with Buds podcast. That was awesome. Man, just getting to sit down with those two guys and hear their stories and just, reminiscing and going through the nostalgia of things like a made-for-TV Dennis the Menace movie and, The Sandlot and Blank Check and all that good stuff. I'm so glad that I got to hook up with Brian Bonsall over Facebook, one of the nicest guys I've met in recent years, and as well, same sentiments to Victor DiMattia. So thank you guys so much for being on the show. Thanks for listening to this show if you're checking it out. And make sure you tell a friend if you know somebody that you grew up with that loved either of those movies. Please hook me up by getting their ears on this show. And if you like this episode, go back and listen to the other 63 episodes we've put out. Episodes like topics, featuring topics like West Coast versus Midwest trivia with my good friend Josh Alton, great comedian from Iowa. We did some West Coast Midwest trivia. We did some Dragon Ball Z and Quentin Tarantino trivia with my good friends Connor and Keith from the Mean Boys podcast, a great sketch comedy podcast. We also did grammar versus new wave music with Rob O'Reilly and Matt Crawford, two guys I work with at Super Jacket Productions on shows like Rob Dyrdek's and MTV's Ridiculousness and Crash Leads on Nickelodeon with Rob Gronkowski. You can definitely check out old episodes like the Evil Dead versus One Hit Wonders episode with Mitch and Josh from the Soap Box Office podcast. So I've had a lot of cool guests. I've had a lot of cool friends stop by or give me a call and let me record our conversations talking about trivia and pop culture, and go back and check out those episodes. Rate, review, and subscribe. I would really appreciate that. Again, just telling a friend is probably the best thing you can do to support this show. we have a Amazon wish list, which is in the show notes if you ever want that link. There is a Amazon wish list, and you can buy stuff that would really help the show out. Different things like tripods and stands and cords and microphones and games that we can play with future guests and different things like that are all on the Amazon wish list. And some people have really helped out the show with things like a headphone splitter and headphones themselves and all that good stuff that just makes everything flow and sound better. So thank you, thank you, thank you. You can always leave me a voicemail, 424-265-1212. That's the Trivia with Buds hotline, 424-265-1212. I'll play your voicemails on the show. I would love to hear what you have to say. Maybe you have a question for me. Maybe you want to stump me in some trivia. I'm really not as smart as you would think a trivia host would be for a guy who's hosted over 1,200 trivia nights. There's not that much that I retain that I didn't already know. But maybe you can stump me. You can leave me a listener quiz in the form of a voicemail. You can email me a listener quiz as an audio file, whatever kind of works for you. We play these different questions and quizzes every week that were submitted by fans and listeners of the show. And anything you want to basically leave on that voicemail, I'll find a way to work it into the show. Go to triviawithbuds.com for all party info for trivia at your venue. Maybe you got something going on. This woman named Heather hit me up, and she just started chatting me on my website. I added this chat feature to Wix, where if you're on the website, there's a little box that's like, hey, do you have any questions about anything? And then like when somebody chats that box, the messages pop up on my phone on the Wix app like a text message, and I can respond in real time to someone that's on my website. So this woman, Heather, hit me up, and that's how I got the place in Venice Beach, Surfside, for trivia and bingo. So if you have something like that coming up, maybe you have a venue, maybe you have a party, maybe you have an engagement party or a rehearsal dinner, or maybe you're getting married. I do officiate weddings, as I talked about last week. I did one last Sunday out in Lake Arrowhead. It was so much fun, and I'm going to start doing that for more and more people. I'll start a website called weddingswithbuds.com. Pretty soon. I'm sure I will. Before we get out of here, I do have 5 questions for you in the form of kind of a listener quiz. These were 5 questions I posted in a Google Forms quiz, which I do sometimes on Facebook. You could follow me at ryanbudds, BUDDS, on Facebook, or Trivia with Buds. And I posted this today. And these were 5 questions about us living in LA for 5 years, the wife and I. And let's see how you do on these questions. So I'll read you the questions first, and then I'll give you the options, and then I'll go back and give you the answers. So here we go. These are all multiple choice. Question 1, what was the first food truck that my wife Ashley and I tried in Los Angeles? Was it the grilled cheese truck, the Get Shaved Ice truck, the lobster truck, or the Jagasaki sushi burrito truck? What do you think? Question number 2, I've been in 3 Hollywood movies since living here. Which one have I not been in from this list? Which one have I not been in? Airplane versus Volcano, Sharknado, Snake Outta Compton, or Doomsday Piranha? Which one of those movies have I not been in? Question number 3, what town have I not lived in out here on the West Coast? Have I not lived in Van Nuys, Burbank, West Hills, or Laverne? Question number 4, what TV show have I not been an extra on? The New Girl, Bones, How I Met Your Mother, or It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia? Which one of those have I not been an extra on? And number 5, what kind of venue have I not done stand-up in? Have I not done stand-up in a comic book store, a sub-sandwich shop, a treehouse, or a medical marijuana waiting room? Which one of those have I not done stand-up in? So I'll give you a second there to think about those answers. And here we go. These are the answers to this week's listener quiz. What was the first food truck Ash and I tried in LA? It was the grilled cheese truck. It was very good. It was on my birthday, and I later won a contest at Flappers Comedy Club. Got $500, a limo ride that I could only use like Monday and Tuesday before 11 in Burbank, which I never cashed in, and a walk-on role in Sharknado, which led to a lot of cool stuff. Here's question 2. I've been in 3 Hollywood movies since living here. Which one have I not been in? The fake one was Doomsday Piranha. I have been in something called Snake Outta Compton, supposedly coming out this year. I think I just have a quick role as a news reporter, so we'll see how that turned out. But Snake Outta Compton, real movie. Doomsday Piranha, not a real movie. Although maybe it is, but I'm just not in it. Question number 3, what town have I not lived in out here on the West Coast? Van Nuys, the first choice. I have not lived in Van Nuys. Lived in Burbank, West Hills, and Laverne currently, but not Van Nuys. Question number 4, what TV show have I not been an extra on? The answer was It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I was on How I Met Your Mother as a roller skating hipster. I was in Bones as a Cerberus employee. And I was on The New Girl as a bar patron, but not in Always Sunny. But I did walk through the bar set that they use for the bar on Always Sunny one time. And number 5, what kind of venue haven't I done stand-up in? Comic book store, sub-sandwich shop, a treehouse, or a medical marijuana waiting room. It was a treehouse. I've never done stand-up in a treehouse. The other 3 I definitely have done stand-up in. Medical marijuana waiting room. It was a place called The Higher Path in Studio City, Sherman Oaks area, and they had a throne that I actually sat on, and I'm like, what's this from? And they said, oh, that's President Snow's throne from Hunger Games. And I was like, oh shit, and it was like the actual throne from the movie. So that was interesting, and so is everything out here in LA, but I wouldn't have it any other way, because it's a fun way to live, waking up with nice weather, and just surfing everywhere. I just surf it up. If you ever met me, I'm definitely not, I've never touched the surfboard. Do you wax them? Is that a thing you do? I don't know. I'm going to let you guys go and go on to your big surfing adventures here. I hope you have a great week. I hope you like this episode. Tell a friend about it. Rate, review, and subscribe. Leave me a message at 424-265-1212, and we'll see you next time for more trivia and pop culture badness on the Trivia with Buds podcast. Bye-bye.